I'm with the Wilson County Election Commission, and we are here conducting an election for senior superlatives, and that's like best dressed, lots of different things. It's a very long ballot, 4 pages, and just letting them get an introduction to voting, and so when they turn 18, hopefully they'll continue voting. And we're also doing voter registration.
Last few runs of trying to get nearly of age kids registered to vote early so that they're good to go in actual election runs. Turnout and signups have been kind of low. What do you think is keeping late teenagers, seniors in high school, from being more interested in and jumping into the election process?
So I've done a lot of studies about that. When I first came here in 2011, my kids were probably a little bit younger than the high schoolers that I'm seeing today. And I had a lot of concerns because I would go in classes and ask, how many of you been with your parents? Maybe 2 or 3 per class, maybe. And so I kind of took it upon myself to make that one of my passions. Well, built that up. We really did a lot with the schools. And we were doing probably 30 to 40 elections per year in all the schools, which is a lot on top of our normal job. Because I wanted them to learn and not be intimidated when they turn 18. COVID hit. And it really stopped that. It stopped that process of, so they were in a habit of always calling us for elections and having us come out. And when COVID hit, that kind of stopped. So we're just really ramping that back up. But with students and young people, it's kind of, it doesn't affect them personally yet, so they don't really understand how important elections are. But when I speak to them in classes especially, I tell them, a county commissioner has to be 18 and live in the district. Yet they can set our tax rates, school, they do lots with the school, they can make decisions, so it really, they don't understand it's not just the president that in their eyes is important. It's everyone that runs in an election. School board members, county commission, all the county offices have an impact on our lives every day. And I don't think us as a society are really doing a good job of making that important, making voting important enough, honestly. So that's why I care about it. So if you want to register to vote, you have to be 18 and live in the county or Wilson County, obviously, not have a felony conviction or have your rights restored, and 18 on or before the next election. So you can go to govotetn.com or our website, wilsonelections.com, and do an online voter registration. We're also giving out, we're going to leave some of these where you can go and it will show you how to get there, but you can do it all on your telephone and no printer. You don't have to print anything off. You just have to know your social security number. So once you do that, answer the question yes to you'll be 18 on or before the next election, because we won't actually process it until you're 18. So we will hold it in our office. So once you do that, once we process it, we will send you a voter registration card, and you don't need that to vote, but you do need to be registered to vote in the county. You need a Tennessee or federally issued photo ID to actually vote, and that most of the time people will use their driver's license. So if you're going to get registered to vote, an important thing to remember is that when you go off to school or you go away to school somewhere and you want to still vote, you can do that by absentee. So the law states that you have to vote in person the first time. So if you know you're not going to be here for the first election you want to vote in, yet you want to be able to do absentee, you're welcome to come to our office, show me your ID so that I can make you in person and you can do an absentee ballot. So we're located at 230 East Gay in Lebanon, and that's the old Fred's building next to the post office. So just make sure if you want to stay registered in this county, don't take the freebies at college or wherever you may go off to, because they want to entice you to register to vote, but you would not be registered here anymore. And some students do that. When they come in to vote, they're not here anymore because they went to UTK or went to college somewhere and registered to vote there. So it's important you can keep your home address with your parents until you get settled and you get out of school and you really know where you're going to live. It's important to vote. It's our privilege to be able to vote. And, when the Constitution was started, there was just a very few people that could vote. It was, white males who owned land. Now, most anyone who puts a little effort into wanting to vote can vote. So I think we take it for granted now, whereas, years ago, people fought for the freedom and the privilege to vote, and it's important that we take advantage of that. And every vote matters. We had back in, I don't remember what year, but we had 2 county commission races tied. And so we had one broken by a county commission, just they appointed, and we had one broken by provisional ballot. So every single vote matters. Even when you don't think it's a really large margin, they're large margins because a lot of people voted. Every single vote was counted. That is our voice. Voting is truly our voice.